when she was in the bushes. Obviously once we'd left with the game drive vehicles, there was some waterbuck around, coming in closer and sort of having a closer look. I presume, I would guess probably up to about 30-40 meters away or so, 30-40 yards. And why that is, Colin, basically it's just got to do with most of these animals aren't afraid of lions. Impalas don't walk around terrified the whole time of getting eaten by a lion. The same for waterbuck or wildebeest. They are all very alert, and if they see something that's potentially threatening, or maybe let's say they smell something, they smell a predator, or they hear something that sounds odd, they want to be sure what it is. So they want to get a bit closer to be able to inspect it better, or maybe they managed to see something, maybe they saw a tail flicking, or they saw movement there, so they knew that there's something wrong. There's a snake in the grass, so to speak, and they also know that at a certain distance, once they're aware of a predator, they can get away from it. So waterbuck knows if I've got a 20-25 meter head start on a lion, I can outrun it, and because of that they can afford to get a bit closer to rather make sure what the problem or the threat is, and once they've seen it and identified it and located it, they're much safer after they've done that. So very well observed. It's exactly what happened. They did actually go closer to try and see better, so that they could actually assess the threat more thoroughly, or understand it better, and because of that they'd be safer. Probably once they figured out what she was, they went off to a certain distance, kept on grazing, and just kept an eye out more in that direction. Looking at beautiful wildebeest here, Impala in the background, and we're still on quarantine, an area that we refer to quite often, and sometimes I forget that some of you join us very often, and some of you might be on your game drive with us this afternoon. If you are, or one of your first few game drives, some of these areas we're referring to, Terry Bliss was just asking, where is quarantine, or what is quarantine? It's basically this area we're looking at here. It's a beautiful area, one of my favorites on Djuma. Used to be a village many years ago, and because of that got cleared to a large extent. And then also in the early years of Djuma Game Reserve, when they sometimes released animals back into this area, they would use it as a quarantine area. So it had a sort of a large camp around it, I guess, and you could release animals into it to settle down after transport or translocation. It's always good for animals just to settle down a bit before you release them into the total wild. Whew, what's that? Beautiful, look at that. Ah! That looks amazing. Something made them jump. Wildebeest don't seem too worried. I'm going to cut that answer a little bit short, Terry, but this is quarantine. That whole area you looked at now, the Impala's running across it. It's very close to Voitela Lodge, very close to Wild Earth Camp. And we've seen some amazing wildlife around here. Often at night, Impalas and wildebeest sleep out here. We've seen some fantastic predators on here. And something's up. I'm very curious to see what happens next. There's some wildebeest coming in from the distance as well. The Impalas have run away to further behind us. Let's inspect. Ah, that was awesome, Rob. It's like an ocean of Impala running along. Okay. Sorry about that. It's the only way we can get it going. Why these guys are so nervous? The wildebeest don't seem too worried. Again, there's some behavior. You can see these guys in front of us here just grouping together, clustering together a little bit, but no major alarm calls yet. Might just be that one or two of those Impalas are a little bit on the nervous or edgy side. As they ran, the rest of the herd followed. That's not uncommon for it to happen, but what are you guys going on about? Also no alarm calls again, those Impalas. They're standing in the distance. We're going to go closer to them now to have another look. Typically, if they'd actually seen a predator, they'd seen a lion or a leopard or something like that, they would be barking or making those warning calls. Yeah, you can start seeing drizzle on the horizon there as well. But yeah, no, I think that was more a case of sort of herd mentality. One jumps and we all jump. Nothing here. Just going to give you a quick look at that, and then we're going to have to head for the workshop and also head for cover. There's definitely rain on the way. Okay, you can see the heads are up and they're looking around a bit, but there's not that very alert, very aware stance that you get when there's a predator about. Certainly glad they ran like that though. It's always very, very stunning to see that. Well, we're going to have to say goodbye, cut the drive a bit short, but it's been a fantastic drive, fantastic elephant, and really enjoyed those, seeing all those little guys and just following them around, and also at the end here, on this stunning area, big trees, Wildebeest, Impala, and I really enjoyed them running like that. That was probably one of my favorite sort of quick scenes of the afternoon. Just to explain again, we do actually have a clutch problem, so we do need to get to a workshop and see if this is sorted or sortable. We will let you know later into the evening if it's not. I'm not quite sure, it might be quite a big problem, but we'll keep you updated. Otherwise, have an awesome evening, have an awesome day, and we'll see you tomorrow morning, hopefully, if everything's in order. Rexon's out here again, so I'm sure you're looking forward to getting some of his inputs again, and I'm going to say goodnight before I ramble on like I tend to do at the end of our afternoon drive. Thanks so much for joining us. It really is a pleasure to have people here with Wild Earth live in the bush at Djuma Game Reserve, Sabi Sands. Thanks Rob, he was on camera. Thank you Haley, back in the live control center. My name is Peter, we'll see you later. Sitting with me, he's come back tonight, Haley, in the live control center as well. Basically, it seems like it's a fairly serious problem. Not serious in the sense of unfixable, just that we do need certain parts that we'll only be able to find probably Monday only. With a little bit of luck, we can maybe scavenge something around here tomorrow. But tomorrow morning, first thing, we'll have to take bits and pieces off. It's all got to do with the clutch and the clutch cylinder and so forth, and assess the problem from there again. So we will keep you updated during the course of tomorrow. But there will definitely be no morning drive, and we'll keep you updated as to the afternoon drive and Monday's activities as the day goes along. In the meantime, enjoy the waterhole. I'm sure you enjoyed that lion that just came past. Very, very cool. Haley let us know on the radio, and we'll let you know tomorrow. Enjoy the evening. Thank you for joining and spending your time with Wild Earth, and enjoy the wildlife. Good night.